Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Muhammad Qasim Nazir, and the topic I'm going to represent today is neurogenesis, in which I'm going to tell you how you grow your intelligence. So the first question that we have is, can we as adults grow new nerve cells? Many of you may believe that we can't. Not until 1990s, scientists believed the same, but a recent discovery have just shown that we can grow our nerve cells, even the adults can do. So many people think of a brain as a mystery. They believe that a person is born either smart, average, or dumb, and stays that way for life. But new research shows that the brain is more like a muscle. It changes and gets stronger when you use it, and scientists have been able to just show how the brain grows and gets stronger when you learn. Everyone knows that a person who can't lift 20 pounds when they start exercising can get strong enough to lift 100 pounds after working out for a long time. That's because the muscles become larger and stronger with exercise. And when you stop exercising, the muscles shrink and you get weaker. That's why people say, use it or lose it. But most people don't know that when they practice and learn new things, parts of their brain changes and gets larger, a lot like muscles do when they exercise. And this phenomena is called neurogenesis. So scientists, while studying animals' brain, revealed that nerve of the animals who lived in a challenging environment had shown more growth compared with that of the animals who lived alone. Even the elder animals grew their brain by about 10%. So when it comes to neurogenesis in adults, hippocampus is the main part of the brain that plays its role. This is this gray structure in the center of the brain that is important for learning, memory, mood, and emotion. However, what we have learned more recently is that this is one of the unique structure of the adult brain where new neurons can be generated. And if we slice through the hippocampus and zoom in, what you actually see here in blue is a newborn neuron in an adult brain. So why are these new neurons are important and what are their functions? When you learn new things, these tiny little connections in the brain actually multiply and get stronger. The more that you challenge your brain to learn, the more your brain cells grow. Then things that you once found very hard or even impossible to do, like speaking a foreign language or cramming bulky notes of cell signaling, seems to become easy. The result is a stronger and smarter brain. Neurons are not only important for memory capacity, but also for the quality of the memory, and they will have been helpful to add time to our memory, and they will help differentiate very similar memories, like how do you find your bike that you park at the station in the same area but in a slightly different position. So the scientists have worked out on the relationship between neurogenesis and depression. What they have found out that depression is as a result of lower level of neurogenesis. About antidepressants, there are many side effects of antidepressants, but there is one good thing about it. They can increase the neurogenesis. That's how they decrease the symptoms of depression. So if you happen to block this neurogenesis, it will result in a permanent depression. So this answers the question that why the cancer patients, even after being cured, still develop symptoms of depression. It's obvious that the drugs that are given to them not only kill the cancer cells, but also kill the newborn neurons. And it will take time to generate new neurons to reach their normal functions. So the next question is, can we control neurogenesis? Here I have a little quiz for you. I'm going to give you a set of behaviors and activities, and you will tell me if you think they will increase neurogenesis or if they will decrease the neurogenesis. Are we ready? Okay, let's go. So what about learning? Learning will increase the neurogenesis or decrease it? Yes, it will increase it. How about stress? Obviously, stress is going to reduce the neurogenesis. How about sleep deprivation? It's also going to decrease it. How about getting old? Decrease. How about running? So to find out the answer to this question, scientists carried out experiment. So here in the first diagram, you see a section of the hippocampus of a mouse that had no running wheel in its cage, and the little black dots you see are actually newborn neurons. And in the other diagram, you see a section of the hippocampus of a mouse that had a running wheel in its cage. So you see the massive increase of the black dots representing the new neurons. So it means activity impacts neurogenesis. But that's not all. What you eat will have an effect on the production of the new neurons in the hippocampus. So here we have a sample of diet of nutrients that have been shown to have efficacy. And I'm just going to point a few out to you. For example, calorie restriction of 20 to 30% will increase neurogenesis. Then intermittent fasting, that means spacing the time between your meals, will increase neurogenesis. Intake of flavonoids, which are contained in dark chocolate or blueberries, will increase neurogenesis. Omega-3 fatty acids present in fatty fish like salmon will increase the neurogenesis. Conversely, a diet rich in highly saturated fat will have a negative impact on neurogenesis. Ethanol intake of alcohol will decrease the neurogenesis. So the bottom line is the effect of diet on mental health, on memory and mood is actually mediated by the production of the new neurons in the hippocampus. And in the last, I would like to explain the real truth about smart and dumb. No one thinks babies are stupid because they can't talk. They just haven't learned how to yet. But some people will call a person dumb if they can't solve math problems or spell a word right or read fast. Even though all these things are learned with practice. At first, no one can read or solve equations, but with practice, they can learn to do it. And the more a person learns, the easier it gets to learn new things because their brain muscles have gotten stronger. The students everyone thinks as the smartest may not have been born any different from anyone else, but before they started school, they may have started to practice reading. They had already started to build up their reading muscles. Then in the classroom, everyone said that's the smartest student in the class. But they don't realize that any of the other students could learn to do as well if they exercised and practiced reading as much. Remember, all of those other students learn to speak at least one whole language already, something that grown-ups find very hard to do. They just need to build up their reading muscles too. That's all from my side. Thanks for listening. Allah Hafiz.